Francis, the next story we got for you is McGregor's might have a new sparring partner. We might have the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world as a sparring partner. I think Lomachenko is the best pound-for-pound boxer. He teleports, it makes no sense. He's a wizard, Harry, is what he is. Lomachenko took to Twitter. And there's, of course, more to it than just, does Lomachenko actually want to be McGregor's sparring partner? Or does everybody and their mother want to take something from McGregor and Mayweather to keep their names in the bright lights?
Yeah.
Lomachenko just fought in front of it might have been so. It was the Microsoft Theater, which is a strange place to have a boxing fight, I think. It was only about 4,100 people. He clowned on him, and Bob Arum had such high praise for him. He said he hadn't seen anything like it since Muhammad Ali in terms of footwork. So here's the tweet that Lomachenko sent out. Tags Mr. McGregor. Need another sparring partner to test your skills against. And then has a pickup phone. I used to win many wrestling, judo, and sambo tournaments as a kid. This is a little bit back though. Should I try fighting in the UFC? What do you think? I do think Lomachenko should fight in the UFC. We actually, here's what's funny is we mentioned yesterday like Demetrius Johnson versus Lomachenko in the UFC. Why not? That would be fun. I didn't know he actually wanted to maybe do it or was joking about it. Regardless, this is all about the fallout from Paulie Malignaggi, and we did that clip already. I think we might have gotten part of the timeline wrong. If that's correct, our bad, we'll do some kind of update on it. Still, the substance of it was, gotta expect this out of McGregor's camp, and this was like, we kind of talked about that, and it's shitty of the UFC. It's like, it seems like we don't have enough information about both sides. Now Malignaggi's going out and really ripping into everybody.
Yeah, he's going out and he's like going like case by case and criticizing McGregor's fighting stance in the UFC. Like he's going out and saying, look how he turned his back, he's a quitter, blah, blah, blah. And this is after he sent out that long, very classy message about how he's just gonna part ways with the McGregor camp, wishes him all the best. But then he goes through and he's suddenly going on a tweet frenzy about criticizing his fighting stance in mixed martial arts. And that to me just speaks, it just reeks of someone just trying to hold on to relevance. Like, even though he's a relevant fighter, it just reeks to me that he's trying to basically take a piece of this massive McGregor-Mayweather cake and hold on to it, maybe be brought on as an analyst or something like that. And that's where I think, moving on to this example, the McGregor camp needs to be careful here. Now, Lomachenko seems like he's a very upstanding professional guy, but if he moves into that limelight and sees an opportunity to knock McGregor down and then seeing that he can get plaudits for it, and if someone's there taking photos or Lomachenko floors McGregor at sparring, like that's going to catapult him to further acclaim. And I think McGregor is just going to be the one who's left eating crow because he's just, this camp is maybe getting caught up too much with the whole celebrity aspect of it and maybe should be focusing on the fight itself. Do we remember what happened the first time he fought Nate Diaz? It was a very much over celebrified, making that word up and you can, as long as you copyright it and give me that. It was an over celebrified fight because he was moving up in weight class and it was glorified, right? Look how big he's got and look at all the, look at everything that went around that fight.
He did get huge.
No, he did.
Like look at him now.
Yeah, it's very true. But what happened in that fight? He was the first one, I'm going to use this as my pointer. He was the first one to come out after that fight, and remember what he said? I get caught up in the spectacle of it. I moved up and I did hit too much arms and not enough cardio. That was a representation of, I think, his lack of focus on the task at hand.
Right.
And I think that Conor McGregor himself hasn't said much. Like, his camp is speaking a lot. He hasn't said much apart from in the press conference. Like, I'm talking about outside of that spectacle. I mean, Floyd Mayweather's not having problems with sparring partners and hasn't it seemed to be, he's coming out and saying things like that. It does raise a flag. But it seems to me like Conor McGregor's camp, more than Conor McGregor himself, just need to be very careful. As much as, it's something we've never seen. It's a circus, we get it. But he's still got to go out there and try at least to try and beat a guy who's almost unbeatable.
In Lomachenko's case, I think it's equal parts he wants to get inside the circus ring for this. I also think that there is some similarities between Lomachenko and McGregor, also Cody Garbrandt in the UFC, in terms of being flashy, entertaining fighters. Lomachenko was inviting Marriaga into the corner this weekend. He put on what pretty much was a perfect boxing 7 rounds. Marriaga's corner pretty much threw in the towel. We did not send him out after the 7th round. McGregor can learn a ton from Lomachenko, and if they spar, that's fine. I just hope he doesn't kill him. I understand why there's these boxing rules and there's sparring. You don't throw your sparring partners under the bus and all these things. But like, in the end, we're talking about one photo that really did trigger Malignaggi.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's wrong that the UFC likely set this up to look a certain way. And it's wrong of McGregor's camp. But if Malignaggi was really committed to McGregor here, really committed, I don't think he would have started to go from the classy posts as you mentioned to just complete shit talking all the way through every podcast and running McGregor through. I understand that McGregor started this. Not trying to defend in that sense.
Was it McGregor or his camp though? That's the thing.
I think they have to be somewhat 1-1. If McGregor's camp does it, it doesn't make McGregor not liable.
Yeah.
Like it's still his camp. Like if the money team, for example, if TMT, if some
TYT
random dude, because they'll always be like, that guy's got a money team hat on, it's a TMZ video.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Like does something outrageous, like I don't know, drives a car through Mike Tyson's mansion and takes his tiger, like it's still a representation of Mayweather's brand.